Hey, how are you? I just thought I would sit and chat with you for a few minutes about some things that are on my mind. Um, no reason, just felt like sharing. As you guys know, I do a lot of talking about creativity because that's really near and dear to my heart, and the joy that it brings to me when I share it with other people, when I do it for myself, when I observe it out there in the world for other people that are doing creative things. And it's really impacted itself on me over the last year or two, how important creativity is. I know I've mentioned it before, but I thought it was worth, mentioning it again, that the act of being a creative, and all of us have the capacity for creativity far more than we probably are utilizing, but being a creative person means that you're sort of tapping into this energy that is a very powerful, positive, life-affirming, growth kind of energy, right? Now everybody has different feelings about how the world works and what energy is or isn't, or what we connect with or not. I'm not trying to state an opinion or start a movement. Obviously, there's plenty of those around. Just find the one you like. But what I do want to emphasize to myself and to everybody that I share with is the things that I am learning and understanding, the things that I'm questioning about, the things that I'm struggling with, and the things that I'm feeling pretty confident about. And I can say over the course of the 6 years that I've lived, that creativity has been a constant source of joy and accomplishment and sanctuary for myself. And I see that it fills that same role for other people. And there's many other things that it does as well. But it's really important. And I thought I'd just kind of mention, like, what the heck is creativity? It's a lot of those words that we throw out there, like love and friendship and stuff, that means different things to different people. And one of the things I have really been realizing in the last year or two is that we do have to define our terms. Because when we're talking to people, even people that speak our own language, their definitions for their words might be very different than ours. And a lot of times we get into disagreements and even arguments with people when we actually believe very similar to what they believe, or hold very strongly similar beliefs and feelings, or things that we value. And it's a lot of times because we're defining our words differently. I am trying to have a new habit to go along with the new heart in the way that I feel about life, in the way I feel about my place in this life. And I'm trying to develop new habits because many of the habits that I have, probably like yourself, have all come from things that I didn't necessarily choose. They were things that happened to me as I was a child, or within my marriage, or as I was growing up, or even yesterday, that were accidental parts of my nature and my daily interactions, but that I never really stopped to think about and go, do I want to be like this? And do I want to, keep this idea? And therefore, what do my words say about it, etc. So for creativity, I'm finding, and that's kind of a broad thing, but let's just break it down to creativity. What I'm finding is that I really need to define what creativity means to me when I'm talking about it to other people, because the things that I have chosen to look at as creative have been things that have been added to my whole life, that now I'm analyzing, as I mentioned, whether or not that's what I want. And creativity is one of those things that has never let me down. However, I can see in my own life that I've used it for different ways that I am adjusting as I go. And what I particularly want to share with everybody through my YouTube channel and my other things that I do, like my Creative Circle membership, or on my website where you can get my books and tutorials, is I want to share the joy of making a thing that didn't exist before, just for the joy of making it. So for me, creativity is allowing yourself to go quiet from all of the distractions and the noises and the expectations all around us, and just doing what feels happy to you. Now, that's not what creativity means to everybody, and I'm not saying mine is the right definition. That's just my preference and my focus. So when I talk about creativity to you, what I am talking about is just that joyful activity that we have when we create something that didn't exist before. And it can be a doodle, a drawing, a piece of jewelry, a sculpture, a meal, a dance, a song, an arrangement of flowers. I mean, you name it, the list goes on forever. And I try to incorporate all of those different parts of creativity in my life because variety is also very important to me. And so when I get on here and I show you things that I'm doing, I'm usually going to show you stuff that I've made so that you can know me a little better. And I presume that you're looking at things that I do because they're appealing to you or you like the way that I create, and that they either amuse you or give you some inspiration for your own creativity, both of which are great. So I'm always assuming that you're kind of looking over my shoulder on those types of videos because you're interested in what I'm doing. And also that you may find in your life a desire for more creative expression and don't always know how to do that. Now, I remember when I was a kid, this was back in the old days when there was no internet and the TV had to be turned manually and shows were on when they were on, not whenever you wanted them to be, way back then. So our need to self-entertain was much different than now. And I think we've all shifted, and especially our young people have especially grown up in an environment where they have not been required to entertain themselves. And so they struggle with that often because they have ready variety of entertainment at their fingertips. But there's a problem with that, as I'm sure we all think about and struggle in our own lives and the lives of our children and our grandchildren, is that it doesn't allow, all little screens that we carry, doesn't allow you to very easily go, okay, I've had enough, thank you, and put it down and go do other things. It wants one more. And that's a really hard thing to break. It's not our kids' fault. This is a highly addictive piece of electronics. And any of you who have sat up in your bed, way past your bedtime, just hope scrolling, know exactly how this is. So let's be kind to our young people who are struggling with a thing that we of my age and this generation have never really understood the difficulties that they face that are even so much more intense than ours, because we had to go be creative to entertain ourselves. So we ran around and made up games. We built little things for our Barbies or our G.I. Joes or whatever toys you had growing up. We created, colored, we drew on the sidewalk with chalk. We did all these things that are inherently creative because we were bored also, but didn't have a magic box. So I want to tap into that for those of us who grew up with that, and those of us who have children or grandchildren that have not grown up with that and have missed out on the joy of just making something for fun. That's an important thing to me. And as I do all these videos, I have a couple of things going on. Number one is I just want to do whatever I want. There's reasons for that. I'm not saying that they're all good, but I don't like to be fit in a box and I don't like to be told what to do. So I'm just going to do whatever I jolly please, algorithms be damned, and just have fun with presenting stuff. Now it comes with its own problems because obviously YouTube and other social media have set up algorithms for certain reasons, and if I am ignoring them, then I do so at my own detriment perhaps. So you can help me be just a rebel and a renegade by liking this, subscribing, notifications, letting your creative friends know about it. Just copy and paste the little URL link and send it to them. You can do that if you feel like it. But I do know that I am kind of playing my own little game for my own amusement, and it's okay. But besides just using this YouTube as a way of me saying whatever the heck I want, I'm also very interested in sharing with you not only the why and the when and the where about creativity, but also the how. And I'm going to continue to share that with you. But I really wanted to just kind of define my terms and let you know that I am less interested in showing you how to make an owl, although that's very important and I actually have a video on that. But I want you to be like, how to think about what you want to do, which may or may not be an owl, but let's try it anyway and see where it takes us. So I'm kind of wanting to be sort of that creative cheerleader for you and for me, and take whatever of my blather amuses you and play with it. But the biggest thing I think I'm trying to say in all this ramble is that creativity provides a joy and a satisfaction and a sanctuary to our lives beyond what perhaps we're utilizing, beyond what we realize. We need to share that. Now more than ever, we need those things. So let's just get together and make stuff for fun. If you've got young people in your life, just bring some paper over and glue and scissors and just make monsters or hearts or whatever the heck you want to do. And let them, put them all over the fence or up on the wall or whatever makes them happy. And for you yourself, if you've got clay, I use epoxy clay and polymer clay a lot, and you want to make a little thing, there's plenty of my videos here that help you with that. If you join my membership group, which I would love for you to do, we every week talk about the joys of our lives, and we do some sort of little creative thing to help make that week feel good. And I noticed that after I've talked about it on Sunday, many of you go and you make what we were doing and you add your own twists to it, and you post it around on your various socials and share all that. And I love that. It brings me joy to just make, and it brings me joy to share. And everybody has a different version of how much of that sharing they want, how much of the creativity they like to do in their quiet place. It's up to you. You get to do whatever you like. And there are so many ways to be creative. So I want to explore them, and I wanted to take a few minutes here to just remind you that that's why I'm here, to share the joy of creativity that I find in my life in making things, and provide little creative nudges and explorations and inspirations for you to find your own joy of creativity and pass it on. If you've made something and you're not a person who wants to sell or any of that stuff, give it to somebody. Leave it somewhere where somebody can find it. Find something to do with what you've made. Don't just put it in a box and put it on your shelf. Get it out there. Let it find new places to be. If you do like or need to sell, explore options for that. That might be a little different than the norm, because it's a hard thing to sell art, but it can be very joyful and wonderful. So if that is something you do, I wish you the best on that for sure. Obviously, I do that, and I in the description you'll see a link to my website, and that will tell you about my groups, including the Diamond Group, which is where you can go to buy my art. Obviously, I'd love for you to do that. But the main thing is, let me just blather at you about how amazing creativity is. Let me show you how to do some things and make some things that maybe you hadn't thought about before. And let me let you peek over my shoulder while I create, in case that amuses and inspires you. All right? So, for whatever that's worth, I just wanted to tell you that. And I wish you all happy creativity and happy joy and abundance and sharing of this wonderful experience that we get to have as humans of creating a thing that didn't exist just because we can. So let's do it. All right? Happy creating. Bye.